Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about one of the brand new weapons added in Battlefield 6 Season 3, the RPK-74M, and how it is basically just a better version of the AK-12, but it's a light machine gun, and the velocity is a blistering 1,050 meters per second. I have a lot of good builds for this weapon, some interesting ones, so let's get right into it. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button, hit the sub button, and let me know what you think about this weapon if you've unlocked it. I'll let you guys know right now, this is not going to be one of those weapons where it's going to be considered, the best gun in the game or super overpowered or anything like that. However, I do think it fills an interesting niche that the AK-205 was just kind of really dog shit at filling. The damage model on the AK-205 is really piss poor, unfortunately, and that's what holds it back a lot of the time. But the damage model on the RPK-74M is much better, even though the fire rate is only slightly lower. Getting into some of the basic stats of the RPK-74M, you unlock this in the second leg of the Battle Pass. I'll just show you real quick. So you go over here, Battle Pass. If you want to unlock it first, you have to activate the Warlords Hunters section. If you want the M16, you have to do the Tiger Shark one first. But back to the RPK to talk about the damage model. The RPK-74M's damage model is pretty straightforward. It's a three-step system, so it does 20 damage to the chest out to 20 meters. It does 17 damage to the chest out to about 74-ish meters, and then past about 74, it does 14. So it's basically a 5-shot kill, 6-shot kill, and then finally a 7-shot kill in the chest way back there. Now, comparing that quickly to the AK-205, the AK-205 does 18 damage to the chest at 20 meters, drops to 15, holds 15 out to about, well, not even that range. So it drops to 14, and then finally it drops to 12 at about 74 or 75 meters. So the AK-205 is just completely outclassed in its own use case scenario by the RPK-74M, which is basically mid-range laser beam that never misses. Let me set it to full auto so I can actually fucking demonstrate. I didn't even burst there. The recoil is a complete joke. I mean, just taking a look at the pattern, it's not a problem. So, with those basic stats out of the way, we can take a look at some of the more interesting stats here. I already pointed out the muzzle velocity, 1,050 meters per second. Those of you that play RedSec and know the meta of RedSec might notice that it's the same velocity as the KTS, so maybe the RPK-74M could be pretty useful in RedSec for some of you. I know Rank just came out for that. Taking a look at the first build, this build utilizes the default 5.45 round magazine. So this is another advantage it has over the AK-205. If you wanted a larger magazine on the AK-205, you would have to give up a lot of other attachments. With this weapon, you can have a lot of freedom to just pick and choose. It goes all the way up to a 95 round magazine if you want to be crazy. The default is 5.45 round. You have 50 round mag options, even a 36 round, and you can get faster ADS times with 30 round magazines, which I'll be showing in another build. For those of you that are familiar, again, with the AK-205, you should know that it is essentially just a mid to longish range laser beam, and you want to hit headshots with it. So for the RPK-74M, it's basically no different. You are going to want to run synthetic tip ammunition on this weapon for the 1.75x headshot multiplier. That makes the headshot BTK 1, 2, 3 out to 20 meters. Then it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way out to 70 meters there, and then I think it does drop to 5 at about 74 or 75 meters. Nope. It's 4-shot all the way out there. So 3-shot headshot kill, and then 4-shot all the way out to max distance with synthetic tip. Makes the headshots really consistent. This weapon is a no-brainer for violet laser for moving spread accuracy, and you don't really need any of the recoil control suppressors. Just throw a standard suppressor on there with the heavy extended barrel so you're more accurate for longer while increasing your velocity. throw the hand stop on there just to get the ADS time down just a little bit and the draw speed, and throw the recoil buffer on there just to make your visual recoil even less than it already is. Now, the second build I have for you for the RPK-74M is essentially just this, but with 50 millisecond faster ADS time and slightly faster reload time, but this utilizes the 30 round magazine, okay? So if you didn't know, you can switch to lower capacity magazines to lower your ADS. You see, if I wanted to equip the 45 round here, it would increase it to 300 milliseconds, but 30 round fast allows you to keep it at 250 milliseconds. And then keep in mind, if you use this weapon on the support class, you can see signature weapon support. And what that does is it will further reduce your ADS times with all LMGs, but including the RPK, by an additional 50 milliseconds. So you have 200 millisecond ADS time with this build and 250 millisecond ADS time with the first build. If I were to pick between these two builds, and honestly, there isn't much variety between these two builds because this is really pretty much the only way you should be running this weapon, I would personally choose this one because I just like having 45 rounds available. But if you do like faster ADS times, I would go with this one. And it's just the same thing. So it's standard suppressor, heavy extended, violet laser, hand stop, 30 fast, and synthetic tip. But no recoil buffer because you cannot fit that in the build unless you don't run a sight. But my guess is with this weapon, you're probably going to want to run a sight. For those of you interested in the RPK-74M versus the KTS in terms of whether or not you should use one or the other for RedSec, the KTS has the same muzzle velocity. You can use synthetic tip ammunition on it, but the difference is it just has way different damage models. And I'm not sure about the exact TTK numbers, but my guess is the KTS is going to have better TTK the farther the range goes out. And it might even beat the RPK-74M in CQC TTK because this has a 4 bullet to kill out to 20 meters, and then it drops to 5. And then finally at max distance, it drops to 6 bullet to kill. And with synthetic tip, it retains the 3 headshot BTK, and then it drops to, I think, 4 headshot BTK. I'm going to test it once this target decides to. Yes, so both of the weapons have very similar use cases. I'm going to use both and see which one I prefer, and I would suggest you do the same. I honestly think the KTS might edge it out just because the KTS is just going to require less shots to be hit. But at the same time, I do feel like the RPK, I feel like it actually has better hit registration to me. I don't know. Like, I feel like the KTS is pretty wonky, and at least based off of initial feel, I feel like the RPK has less spread, so it might be more accurate for longer. So I think it's a question of minute TTK differences and maybe minute accuracy differences. I think the RPK-74M might be a little bit more accurate, and the KTS might carry its damage a little bit better, but it's probably less accurate. So that was going to wrap this video up, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know if you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to subscribe. I have some more interesting weapon videos coming out very soon. One covering the new burst fire attachment, which I think a lot of people are overlooking. Newsflash, guys, it does actually improve one weapon very significantly. So subscribe to see that video coming up. Be sure to hit the like button. Let me know what you think about the RPK-74M if you haven't unlocked. And I will see you guys in the next video.